And welcome to the Oregon Tech Coaches Show. We are live on 960 AM and also 104.3 and also on Klamath Falls News Facebook here from Abby's Campus Square. I'm Bobby Thompson along with Mike Garrard. And Michael, excitement in the air always when we start our coaches shows.
Well, it is, and of course we're kicking off Cascade Conference play. Home opener for Cascade Conference play is this Friday and Saturday nights at Danny Miles Court. So we hope everybody will make their plans to join us. It's also K through 12 weekend at Danny Miles Court this weekend, which means if you have a student that's in kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade, they go to school in Klamath County, bring them up. Oregon Tech women's game starts at 5:30. Men's game start at 7:30. They get in absolutely free. It's our K through 12
you can't beat
weekend.
that.
Absolutely.
No, that's
awesome.
fantastic.
It's awesome. So, again, we welcome those of you watching on Facebook as well at Klamath Falls News on Facebook, as well on 960 and 104.3 Sports. A lot to get to today, Bobby, being our first coaches show of the year. The NAI top 25 polls came out today. Hustling Owls moved down slightly from number 22 to 24. But the good news is remain in the top 25. You look at the Cascade Conference teams. College of Idaho, Bobby, for the first time since NAI split to Division II, that very first poll back in 93, they were number one. This is the second time they're number one in the NAI poll.
And when you tell me that, that means that defending national champion Indiana Wesleyan got beat.
Yep.
They had to lose or they would still be there. So congratulations to College of Idaho. They dodged a couple of bullets that opening weekend of conference play against Southern Oregon Tech.
Right, and you look at it, and still the Cascade Conference on the men's side, we have 4 teams in the Cascade Conference after College of Idaho at number 1. You've got Southern Oregon at number 13. They stayed even. Kind of interesting that they went on the road trip. They lost both their games.
Yeah, they're tied for last place.
In the conference, they lose both those games. It just kind of shows how good they are, and everybody's
they
allowed
are
to play
good.
a game.
We
and
know
that road trip is so hard. Not very many teams are going to do what Oregon Tech did on the men's side, and that is at least split those road games.
I'm glad that we played Eastern Oregon second because I tell you, Eastern Oregon ambushed Southern. I mean, they took them by surprise.
On that Friday night,
yeah.
They did. And then for Oregon Tech to get the win, that was really good. Again, Warner Pacific at number 20 in the NAI top 25 poll with College of Idaho 1, Southern Oregon 13, Warner Pacific 20, and then Oregon Tech at 24. Interesting, if you look at the Hustling Owls 1-1, and the team we lost to, well, they're the new number 1 team in the nation. So, you got a lot to hang your hat on for Oregon Tech. You're a little disappointed that you moved down instead of at least staying even like Southern did.
Yeah. And look at Warner Pack. They lost to Multnomah.
Yeah, they did.
Good game, but they lost. And people said, whoa, what's this?
They lost to Multnomah. And the reason they lost to Multnomah is a young guy by the name of Justin Martin, who was just named today as the NAIA Player of the Week in the entire
for the
NAIA.
whole name. And he should have been.
Well, he scored 71 points.
Only 71.
Had the game winner in their win, an upset win at home over Warner Pacific. So he was named today the NAIA National Player of the Week. So great honor out of Multnomah. And guess what? We will see them at the end of the month. We'll be at Multnomah and Warner Pacific.
Right after Christmas.
Right after the Christmas break. So we'll get to see our first look at Mr. Justin Martin, who is a heck of a player. And Multnomah, they love the 3-ball. And if they're on, it's going to be
a long night.
It can be a very, very long night. So you kind of hope that they're not on. If they are, you're in for a dogfight.
Well, you will be. I mean, Warner made a great comeback. They were down 20 midway through the second half and tied the game, and then lose the buzzer. That really hurts.
Yeah, that was tough. Again, we welcome you in.
Yeah.
It is the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. Mike Garrard along with Bobby Thompson. Of course, we're streaming live this year on Facebook, thanks to our friends Brian Gailey at Klamath Falls News on Facebook.
Yep.
So make sure you check that out as well. Tonight's guest, of course, Scott Meredith from the Oregon Tech Lady Owls will be joining us here coming up in a few minutes. He'll also have senior Megan Morris from Klamath Falls and Mazama High School. She's now a senior. Where'd the time go, Bobby?
I know
Little, Mighty Mouse.
A senior. It just doesn't seem possible.
Mighty Mouse will be our women's guest. And then on the men's side, head coach Justin Parnell will be here. We'll talk Hustlin Owl basketball. And Mitchell Fink will join us as well. Your Cascade Conference MVP from a year ago.
Yeah, and an All-American from a year ago to boot.
All-American, absolutely.
And he in a lot of I'll tell you, the Hustling Owls and the Lady Owls are both extremely fun to watch. They are both. I think that the women had a great game down at Simpson, and the men are ready to tangle. They're both ready. This is a weekend, Michael, where Oregon Tech, women and men, absolutely must win 2 games apiece. Take no prisoners.
Well,
you cannot.
It is true. I mean, for the ladies, both teams went on the road. That College of Idaho Eastern series, and how many times have we come away from that at 0-4? A lot of times. And for each team to at least get a road win and split was huge. Now you have to back that up with a sweep here at home this weekend, and so you're heading into those next conference road games so hard after the Christmas break, always so hard after the Christmas break to play your best basketball. And I'll tell you what, Multnomah and Warner Pacific are going to be some great games at the end of the month.
The Warner Pacific women right now are leading they are 3-0, where Eastern Oregon is 2-0, and the girls will play them on Sunday up there. They will play. And the men, of course, both games are really going to be tough, because you say to yourself, the Warner Pacific men, and Multnomah was always a pushover. I mean, that was kind of your pushover. They've never beaten Oregon Tech. Not anymore. They've got a club, folks. They're 8-3 on the season, and they sit in the league at 2-1, or actually they're 9-3 now on the season, and they sit at 2-1 in league play, and they're going to be tough.
Very tough.
Both teams.
Very tough.
Really, you got to win these 4 at home.
We got to. And we will take a closer look at this weekend's opponents. Of course, Evergreen State on Friday night, the Gooey Duck, and Northwest on Saturday at Danny Miles Court. We'll take a closer look at those 2 teams when we come back. And, of course, we'll talk with our head coaches tonight, Scott Meredith from the Lady Owls, along with Megan Morris, Justin Parnell from the Hustling Owls, Mitch Fink also in the house. We're live at Abby's. If you're in the neighborhood, come on by. We've got plenty of room for you. The entire Lady Owls basketball team is here as well.
Yes.
They had practice earlier today, so Scott Meredith said, come on out.
Reds.
And lots of room, though, for you as well. Make sure you tune in and join us here on Facebook at Klamath Falls News. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, our first big segment will be with Scott Meredith, and we'll take a look at the Lady Owls. So far, Oregon Tech off to a pretty good start overall. 1-1 in conference play, 7-5 on the year. We'll get Scott Meredith's thoughts and also have a talk with Megan Morris. It's the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. We're back at you here on 104.3 FM, 960 AM, and, of course, streaming on Facebook at Klamath Falls News. Back in 2 minutes.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over. When you see lights,
vests,
or reflectors,
please give us some room. Slow down and move over.
when you need us,
we've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back?
Please, slow down.
And move over.
You can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rorik, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
to Abby's Pizza on Campus Square. This is the OIT Coaches Show. Here's Bobby and Mike.
Well, we're back here at Abby's Campus Square. Bobby Thompson along with Mike Garrard, and we welcome Scott Meredith to the show. Scotty?
Hey, good evening, boys. Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm good.
I noticed that the whole group of 5 tables behind you, Lady Owls, got them fed here at Abby's?
Yes. Well, we thought, the first radio show, let's get the team out and support the event, and good way to feed our freshmen who are still in dorms on campus, but the food services is closed down, so we're looking for creative ways to feed our girls.
Well, Carol Thompson here at Abby's, they do such a great job, and boy, they were in and out of here pretty fast. I was pretty impressed with it.
They are. Yeah, I'm surprised they got up and left. But, eat and run. They're girls on the go. Lots to do.
They always are. We welcome those of you listening and watching online, Klamath Falls News on Facebook. We welcome you in, also 104.3 and 960 AM Sports. It is the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. We're trying to do this on Tuesday nights. Unfortunately, next Tuesday, the men have a game, unfortunately, against Simpson at home. Then it's Christmas. Then we have New Year's. Then we have an SOU game. So we're about 3 weeks away from our very next Coaches Show. It'll be in January, but then we'll get going on every Tuesday.
Well, like basketball, it'll give us time to watch film, evaluate, and get better.
That's right. You got to get better. Talk about the Lady Owls. Scott, you seem to be, you have a few seniors and then a lot of sophomores and freshmen on this team and getting a lot of playing time.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
Interesting group. I really love this team. Hardworking, coachable. They've really come together. Our team chemistry is outstanding. We're having a lot of fun at practice, but they're working hard and making each other better. They're competing. For example, when we do a drill, we call it 3 defensive stops, and it's 3-on-3. And in order to get off the floor, the defensive team has to get 3 defensive stops in a row.
All right.
And the girls that are playing offense, everybody else, it really embraces keeping that team on the floor. They'll get 2 stops and somebody will hit a shot and they cheer, and eventually I'm reffing, but I have to come in and help support the defensive team and give them a little support because it's really them against everybody. But it's a great drill, and you can see the competitive fire in our girls.
Where did that drill come from? Did it come from Benny?
I believe that's a Coach Miles
really?
Drill. Tom Loney, who assisted me for a couple of years, brought it in, and when I saw the drill, I just thought it was so simple but brilliant. Why hadn't I done it the previous 27 years? And so you're always learning something, but I believe that's one of the many things that Coach Miles has left us.
You look at this team, and right now we're second conference games going in. Lady Owls have not cracked the top 25 yet. You've been close.
Yeah.
Talk about the depth of the Cascade Conference. Now, for example, Eastern Oregon, still the highest-ranked team in the Cascade Conference. They're at number 14, 7-2 on the year. Southern Oregon, 5-3, 1-1 in conference play, and then no other teams in the conference ranked in the top 25. Give us your thoughts on the depth of the conference.
Yeah, I said right up front I thought there were 5 or 6 teams that could potentially win the conference. I think, there's that much parity between the schools, a lot of young teams. Southern's young. Eastern has virtually a new roster, and so just a lot of uncertainty. I think it's a little early on to have knee-jerk reactions and bump teams up and down. We've only played really a weekend of conference basketball.
And for some teams like us, that's a 10-hour bus ride.
Right.
To come 1-1 is pretty good.
Yeah, last week we won 2 out of 3 games on the road. We split with Eastern and Idaho, and then we beat Simpson on the road, but we happened to drop 2 spots from number 3 in the conference to number 5, where Southern did the same thing. They not quite the same thing. They lost at Eastern. They won at Idaho like we did, and they stayed at number 2. So not real happy with the conference rankings right now. I thought they were a little harsh on us early in the season. I thought it was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. I thought we needed to play at least one more weekend to see where teams are before we start moving people up and down, because now that they've moved us to number 5 in the conference, we're going to have to fight our way up to the conference before we can even think of jumping back into the national rankings.
That's one thing we'll be talking with head coach Justin Parnell coming up here in about 20 minutes on the second half of the coaches show, and how I think on the men's side they always, I think, get it right, especially early on.
Yep.
You pick your 4 teams and you keep them up there. Now, obviously, if a team's O or whatever, you have to make changes, but when there's not a whole lot of difference, I think they get it right, whereas they keep the teams up there. It's better for the conference.
Right.
And in years past, it seems like whoever our second or third team is on the women's side in the rankings, if they knee jerk, you never get those people back in the conference in the top 25.
Well, we started the season just outside the top 25 at number 26.
Right.
We're receiving votes. And with a couple good weekends here, we'd have a chance to jump back into that.
Right.
Because we're real close right there. But now they've dropped us down. Warner Pack hasn't been anywhere in the picture. They're not going to jump in. So we might have hurt our conference in terms of trying to get 3 teams up there. But we'll see how it plays out. Like I've told our girls all along, if you want to get in the top 25, you need to take care of your business on the floor, and that's what we're planning to do this weekend.
Well, let's talk about this weekend, the Cascade Conference home openers for the Lady and Hustling Owls. And you've got Evergreen State coming to town Friday night, a team looking for their first win of the year. They're 0 for conference so far. And then Northwest, who always seems to bring their A game to Danny Miles Court.
Yeah, these teams haven't performed well early in the year. They're down towards the bottom of our conference, and like you said, Evergreen's looking for their first win. They're 0-6. That concerns me. They're like a wounded animal. They're the most dangerous animal in the forest because they're defensive, they're aggressive, and unpredictable. And right now, Evergreen's searching for their first win. I think they're much better than an 0-6 record. I put it on our scouting report that they've got a collection of outstanding offensive players. Their top 4 or 5 can really score. Now,
well, Deidre Miller and Alexis, they're both very, very creative scorers.
Yeah, and they've got some players that can score inside and out. I think they pose some problems. Why they're 0-6, I don't quite understand yet. I've got to watch a little bit more film. But Evergreen, I think, is going to be a very good opponent, even with the 0-6 record. They concern me. I think they can score points. They aren't real deep. That's probably their Achilles heel. They really go about 7-8 deep, and coming up to altitude at Klamath Falls, we might have a chance to wear them down if we can get our running game going.
Well, the 4 teams that are at the bottom of the 4 you were just talking about, that are all 0-2, they have losing records on the entire season.
Yeah.
And right above them, Southern Oregon and Oregon Tech at 1-1. So you look, most of the teams, you've played more games than anyone in the entire conference. You've played 12 games.
Yeah, and only 3 of those, well, actually 2, because we had a forfeit with Northwest Indian. Our schedule's 7-5. We've played 2 games at home. We have been the ultimate road warriors, and I think we need to be given credit for that.
And you haven't been.
A lot of long road trips. We've been as far south as Merced and as far north as Boise, and we're willing to play anyone anytime. But we've got to be a little more successful. We've dropped some games that I thought maybe we should have been a little more successful with, but we played very tough against top teams in our conference. We were down 4 with Eastern with a couple minutes to go. We competed really well with Antelope Valley, who's in the top 15 in the country. And so, we've done some good things, but we're doing it, like you said earlier, Mike, doing it with a young team, 6 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and 3 seniors on this roster. It's a really interesting group, but I really like the way that we're playing lately.
Well, I'll tell you, what I like about this year's team is a lot of the freshmen, I think, have come in and really pushed your upperclassmen as far as time goes. Courtney Clemmer, what can you say about, as Bobby's nicknamed her Double C, a great nickname for her. She's really come in as a freshman and given you such a lift off the bench.
Yeah, Courtney's, you can't teach height, but it's got to be height that you can use. And at 6'2", she's got a long reach. She's got great hands. She can catch virtually anything. And she's finishing, shooting over 60% around the basket. She's done an outstanding job. And as practice and time has gone on, her teammates are gaining more confidence in her. And you can see some of them just attacking the key and then just throwing the ball up for grabs. And Courtney's coming down with it. And so they're recognizing, she's a special offensive player, and we're starting to get her the ball more.
104.3 960 Sports. Mike Garrard, Bobby Thompson. We are here live at Abby's Pizza, Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. We're joined by Scott Meredith. We're streaming on Facebook at Klamath Falls News as well, so we hope you can follow along on any and all those places. And it's always fun to add some more multimedia to the coverage of Hustlin Owl basketball, Lady Owl and Hustling Owl basketball. So we're very happy to have added Klamath Falls News with the stream on Facebook. And Scott, you look at the Lady Owls. We talked about Courtney Clemmer, but your seniors as well. One of those seniors is here. We're going to talk to her in a minute, and that's Mighty Mouse, Megan Morris. But your other two seniors have Bailey Nelson and Michaela Shoemaker, Shuey, who has been injured right now. But then we have Bailey Nelson coming from volleyball. Those two have kind of slipped in for each other.
Right.
As soon as volleyball got over, here came Bailey Nelson, and that's about the same time Shuey got hurt.
Yeah, Michaela had done a great job for us. Undersized post, but left-handed and really fast and really quick. And she's learned how to use that to her advantage over the years. Very proud of the way she's developed. Unfortunately, the sore foot, we don't know what it is yet. She's got an MRI scheduled, and we'll see what the outcome of that is. But fortunately, about the time she went down, Bailey Nelson was getting her game together, and Bailey's been outstanding early in the year. It takes a while after volleyball to get your basketball legs under you and get the touch on your shot and the timing on our plays. But it's her fourth time going through this rodeo, so she's adapted very quickly. And so we've got really good depth at our post. And then, of course, Megan we'll talk about in a minute. And then Nohea, of course, senior all-conference player from last year. She's been dynamic and really changes the nature of the game when she's on the floor because, players like her are pretty rare that she can break down a defense at any time, full court, half court, and can penetrate. But then it's what you do with the ball when you get inside that we've been talking about. And early in the year, you could see her just trying to do too much, getting tied up. Now she's starting to trust her teammates a little more and looking for the inside-out game, throwing it up for grabs for Courtney to pull down or Bailey to pull down. And so Nohea's game's really come a long ways this year as well.
All right, Megan Morris will join us when we come back. It is the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. We're live at Abby's Pizza. We're back in 2 minutes.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over.
When you see lights,
Vests.
Or reflectors.
Please, give us some room. Slow down and move over.
when you need us.
We've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back?
Please, slow down.
And move over.
You can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rorik, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
It's the OIT Coaches Show live from Abby's Pizza on Campus Square, taking you inside Owls Athletics. Here's Bobby and Mike.
It's my house, come on, turn it up.
Well, back here at Abby's, we now welcome Megan Morris, the senior from Mazama, one of the 4 seniors. I tell you, don't you have 4?
Well, we've got 5, but 2 are injured right now,
2 are
Bobby.
injured,
we didn't mention.
We put 2 of them in.
Alex
Binnington. Even though our seniors are hurt, they're still contributing. Alex is at every practice. She's working for us on the bench, tracking fouls and timeouts, and Michaela's doing the same type of stuff. And so even though they're injured and aren't playing, they're still part of our team and very important part.
And we love them very much. We
Yes,
got to get that in
we
there.
do.
All right. Introduce Megan Morris. Were you coach?
Yeah, local standout. Watched her play since she was in about 7th grade. Always loved her energy.
Yeah, I watched her long before that.
Yeah, and was so happy to be able to bring her to Oregon Tech from College of the Siskiyous, and she wanted to be here and actually volunteered to redshirt, and because we were pretty loaded at her position with Carly McIsaac and Morgan Roberts, a couple pretty good players in the past, and so Megan saw the big picture and redshirted, which was really good for her, learned our systems and all. And then she her first year on active duty, she rotated with Carly McIsaac at the 3, and Carly's graduated, and now Megan's in the pole position with rotating with Megan Lee, and it just keeps on getting passed on generation to generation. Megan was a all-conference honorable mention selection last year. She's just been dynamic in the way that she's improved. Her defense is, I don't know if there's a percentage, 100% better than when she arrived. She now often gets the other team's quickest, best offensive guard, and just a great teammate. Teammates love her. She is one of our emotional leaders, and I'm just so proud to be her coach.
What a great intro. Megan, welcome.
Hi.
Nicely done. 4th year at Oregon Tech. How's it feel?
It feels really good. Like I kind of said in my senior interview, I think redshirting was by far probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. And 3 years I've been on the active roster has been awesome because I learned something new every year when I'm playing to help my game out a bit more. So,
well, I tell you, Bobby came up with the nickname Mighty Mouse, and it's kind of stuck. Your defense, as Scott mentioned, has gotten way better. I mean, let's be honest, Scott, it wasn't bad, but it's gotten way better.
We picked on her red shirt year. Girls would come back to the huddle when we're calling plays, say, hey, Megan's overplaying again, let's take her back door. We were, kind of manipulating things that way. Not anymore. She's completely bought into our defensive principles and has learned to use her quickness to her advantage.
Well, and I see a lot of Carly Levesque. Did you love getting to watch Carly play
yes,
and mimic some of what she did?
It was actually Carly, Morgan, and Carly. So the 2 Carlys and then Morgan were 3 players that I defend.
And they were all great defenders.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One advantage you have is you're quick. You're fast. You get a lot of rebounds because of loose balls. You get to them, beat people to them, and that is a huge factor in your game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think also defensively, a lot of people, I'm short, and so I don't think some of the players know how high I can kind of jump for how short I am. So I think that's another reason why I get the rebounds I get as well.
Yeah, you're a good leaper.
Mm-hmm.
You get up there.
Well, and it changes the dynamics when Megan's on the floor for us because she's so fast. And not just fast, Megan's at full speed after about 2 steps, very quick in getting into her stride. And so we have her playing the 3-guard position, running that right lane, and she often gets behind other teams' defenses and just flat out runs them. And so, Megan in the game means full court transition for us.
Well, that's got to feel. Now, talk about your major.
I'm a communication studies major, and I'm minoring in medical sociology.
Those are 2 vast, gapped specialties, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I'm doing my externship at the hospital right now for public relations.
All right. Mm-hmm. How's Tom Hotman?
Awesome.
Is he fun to work for?
Yes, he's awesome.
He's
very
a great jewel for our
yes,
community. Absolutely, absolutely. Talk about this year's team, Megan Morris. How is the camaraderie?
this is, well, I say this every year, but this has once again been an awesome team to work with this year. And the freshmen, we have so many. I mean, we have 2 sophomores, 5 seniors, and then how many? 6 freshmen. And what makes...
And 1 redshirting.
Oh, yeah, there you go. What makes it awesome is that the freshmen are so awesome with, like, if you tell them advice or whatever, they're, like, 100% always like, okay, yeah, I'll try that next time. And they literally will do it the next possession in practice and games, and they actually listen to what you're saying, and so that makes it really fun, too. And they also help us older girls, too.
Yeah,
And
I've kind of compared it to a big family where early on it's like the older kids are help raising the young kids.
Right.
And there was a lot of interaction between the players at our practice. So when I would see it happening during or after a drill, I just kind of stand back and let it go. And there was a lot of instruction going, both ways, but it seems to be less now. Our freshmen have acquired more knowledge. They understand our systems, and the seniors aren't having to tell them as much anymore, and that's why you see our play improving on the court.
And also when they get in a game situation too, it helps. I mean, they think about what we tell them in practice, and then they apply it to the game to where, we don't have to be like, hey, maybe try this next time, or they've just naturally picked up on the things that they've learned from the very beginning of the year.
And I've always been a big believer in helping one person learn is by teaching. For you to learn it even better is by trying to teach somebody the same thing that you already know.
Right.
And it really helps you really know the plays.
She's learned that in basketball camp, running our end of our camp for the 5, 6, 7-year-olds. She's done a great job with that and learned a little patience.
Yes. But also playing behind Carly McIsaac too, I saw what she taught me that I would like to teach, Melissa, who's also playing the 3 with me, and everyone in general, but Carly McIsaac taught me a lot on what to do in order to, get minutes.
And some really, really good players for her to learn from, Scott.
Oh, yes. Going back to my early years, Colleen Hunt, Kiana Caban, all the way down, McIsaac and Morgan Roberts and Megan, and it's just been quite a lineage of 3 guards that usually take on the role as being our defensive stoppers, but they also have to be a tremendous offensive threat attacking from the wing.
All right, Megan, what do you have to tell the fans coming up this weekend? Cascade Conference home openers Friday and Saturday at Danny Miles Court.
Come watch us get a sweep.
I love it.
I like that.
Mighty Mouse Megan Morris, our guest here at Abby's Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Scott Meredith, as well. Of course, Scott Meredith, the Lady Owls pregame show will start at 5 o'clock. Tip-off at 5:30, both Friday and Saturday, 104.3 and 960 Sports. Make sure you tune in for that as well. And when we come back, we'll be joined by head coach Justin Parnell from the Oregon Tech Hustling Owls. We're live at Abby's Pizza. It's the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. Thanks, Scott.
Welcome.
Thanks, Megan. Stay right there. We're back after this.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over.
When you see lights,
Vests.
Or reflectors.
Please, give us some room. Slow down and move over.
when you need us.
We've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back?
Please, slow down.
And move over.
You can can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rourke, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
Legendary pizza. Be legendary.
Back to the OIT Coaches Show with Bobby and Mike.
Well, we're back here at Abbey's Campus Square with the Coaches Show, listening on 960 AM, 104.3 on your FM, and Klamath Falls News on Facebook.
Hey, all right, good job. We welcome in head coach Justin Parnell from the Hustling Owls. And Justin, congratulations. Polls came out today. The NAI top 25, Hustling Owls at number 24 after splitting the road trip and losing to now the number 1 team in the country, College of Idaho. But talk about the polls and how your team's doing right now.
Yeah, I'll talk about the polls first. Obviously I do the ratings for the conference, so it's kind of know what's going on with everything, and the fact that we dropped and Southern didn't, and that conversation I heard you guys talking about earlier, it is what it is, and I thought we did the right thing as a conference by keeping us fourth. As weird as that sounds, I understand that, but we did the right thing, and that if you do it that way, you're going to keep 4 teams in, and that's what we did. And
I hope the women's Raiders listening.
Yeah.
Because they do it every year. They don't stick with them, and it hurts them. We were talking about that as well, how the men stick with the top 4 unless there's an obvious, but and the women just tend to just not do that. And I think that's the only reason why, one of the big reasons why we never get more than 3 teams or even 2 teams in that top 25.
Well, and I think 24 is fair for us. I mean, I don't think we've played our best basketball. I think we've played good basketball. But 24 is probably where we belong until we prove ourselves a little bit. But the second part of your question, how our team's doing, I really think we're about to prove that. Each of the last 2 years, we've hit a spot in the season where we just took off. And 2 years ago, my first year as head coach, it was this time where we went 0-2 to start the league and then won 9 straight. And now I kind of feel like we're doing that same thing right now. We've gotten a lot better over the last 2 weeks. And for the fans that were there Saturday, I felt like you would have seen that improvement.
First half.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
We looked really good, and defensively this week I think we've gotten a lot better. So we're ready. And but as far as the polls, love being at 24. It's where we should be, and now we have to prove some things.
Well, one thing we wanted to mention is this weekend. It's K through 12 weekend at Danny Miles Court, and that means anybody with kids from kindergarten through 12th grade, bring them up to Danny Miles Court, either and or both nights, Friday and Saturday night. They get it absolutely free. So we hope the folks will take advantage of that all weekend. We did it last year. Our K through 12 weekend had a great response from the community, so it's something that, fun to do.
I like doing it because the young kids fall in love with basketball, and that's what you want. And you can bring 10, 12 kids. Doesn't matter how many kids you have, all free, K through 12, and it'll be a great weekend. We have 2 great conference teams coming in, and it should be good. Let's pack it out.
For the Hustling Owls, one thing we did want to mention is, as we said, we're at 24 in the nation, but boy, we played so well at College of Idaho. To lose that game by 3 points, it would have been huge to have the sweep, but I think the confidence we gained from that game really helped us going into Eastern Oregon the next night.
Yeah, I thought we played exceptional at College of Idaho, and it's probably the best I've ever felt. Not just myself, our coaching staff. The best we've felt after a game. Not discouraged at all. I knew the next night we were going to go into Eastern and do that. I just think we're really at a point right now where they proved what they could do on the road against College of Idaho. And the next night they went out, and that game against Eastern Oregon really could have been 25 or 30 if we hadn't let that run at the end of the first half happen. What was really nice is they went on that run, and we came out and pushed it all the way back out to 14 again. That's a sign of a really good team. And then to come out and do what we did Saturday, I thought was really impressive.
Well, Bobby and I were talking about it. We've come back from that road trip at Eastern Oregon and at College of Idaho 0-4 more times than not. And for both the men and the women to go on that road trip and at least get a split, the guys almost getting a sweep, is huge confidence-wise. But talk about the College of Idaho now, the number 1 ranking in the nation. That's a nice honor for the Yotes and for the Cascade Conference.
Well, it is. It's great for the conference. The Yotes deserve it after the run that they made last year, and then this year being 13-1, and their only loss is to Northwest Nazarene, NCAA Division II school, who they beat a week earlier.
And a crosstown rival.
Yeah. They're very deserving, and I think they're exceptional defensively, and they shoot the ball so well offensively that they're always going to score enough points to win. I do think, however, after playing that game, I think when they come here, I think we'll beat them. And that's me being naive or overconfident, but I do feel that we're that caliber of basketball team. And being on the road's hard, and that trip's really hard. And I thought we went toe to toe with them. This
year's Hustling Out team, we've lost a couple players. One of those big ones is our senior Jalen Carvalho with the knee injury, and for his future, he had to give up basketball, and we love Jalen and what he brings. I think the biggest loss, not maybe on the floor, but in the locker room as a leader.
Of course, yeah. I mean, he was a rock for these guys, and he was tough. And there's a big on-the-floor loss we had, too. But he did what he had to do for himself, and we respect that.
Well, he probably had one of the biggest baskets all last year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, absolutely. But, we have so much depth that we were able to come in, and it was kind of seamless. Some guys playing well and stepping into that role. When one guy goes down, it gives someone else an opportunity, and you always have to be ready. And I really thought it gave an opportunity to Matt Van Tassel, and now he's taking full advantage of some good minutes he's getting as a freshman.
Yeah, your team now, I mean, there's a lot of youth to go with, and everybody comes back, except for – but I thought the thing when you talk about everybody comes back, everybody but Kimmy Valvey.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the biggest roar by far the entire night was the dunk by Kim Valvey.
Yeah, that was great. And it's the fans may have been shocked, because he's like 6 foot or whatever, but he does it all the time in practice.
Yeah,
I mean, he can really jump, and he's a quality athlete, and I was just really happy for him. And that kid works his tail off, and when I left the gym just a little bit ago, he was the last guy in the gym shooting, and he's just a really high character kid. He doesn't play a lot for us, so we may not, we have everybody back that plays next year, but we will take a hit for what he brings to the locker room, just as good a teammate and leader he is. That would be really hard to replace.
You talk about a champion of character. That is a champion of character.
He really is. He's one of the few leftovers from one of Danny Miles' recruits, and what he has meant to that locker room and what he has brought. There's a reason he's still here. That's because of the character that Kim Valvey has.
Absolutely. He's the last one left, and he's an Oregon Tech guy through and through. His senior night will be a really emotional night, I think, not only for the coaching staff, but for the players. I mean, I think they would all – those guys love him to death. And that's going to be a tough night. Because of what
See him high, too.
Yeah.
All wrapped into one.
And hopefully it's for a conference championship.
Hey, that would be nice, I'll tell you.
That would be nice. 104.3, 960 Sports. Mike Garrard, Bobby Thompson, head coach Justin Parnell. We are live here at Abby's Pizza, streaming on Facebook as well at Klamath Falls News on Facebook. So we appreciate all the new social media coverage that Brian Gailey and his team have brought for Oregon Tech athletics. We're going to talk with Mitchell Fink coming up here in just a few minutes. But, Justin, let's talk about this weekend's matchups. Cascade Conference openers, Evergreen State on Friday night, and then Saturday night. It's always tough with Northwest.
Well, what we've learned in the Cascade Conference is everybody's good, and everybody's good enough to beat you. That's been proven over the years, and Evergreen coming in Friday night. They've struggled a little bit this year. And they score it pretty well. They just don't defend it well, and but they're going to be tough. I think Tim Malroy, their coach, does a really good job, and they're always going to throw something different at you defensively, and they're always going to run some stuff that really makes you guard them, and that'll be a good challenge for us because as we're striving to get better defensively. And then Northwest comes in, and I'm not sure there's any team in the country playing harder than Northwest. I mean, they're really playing hard. They've had a couple season-ending injuries, and they've lost some guys. They're down to about 8. But I'll tell you what, they play hard, and if you don't match that intensity, they're going to beat you. You know, they went the other night, had 8 guys, and they went and lost at Concordia by 1.
I was going to mention that to you.
At the buzzer.
At the buzzer, they lost at Concordia. That's a great effort. That's one of those that, like our loss at College of Idaho, they can build off of that.
Absolutely. And then they lost to Warner in overtime, and then they beat the heck out of Multnomah. So, you know, Northwest is well coached, and they play hard. Now it's going to be one good ball game.
You look at this Evergreen State team, Ryan Quigley and Elijah Fuller, 2 scorers.
Well, Quigley's been around, seems like, forever. And, you know, he's averaging about 14, and he seems like he's averaged 14 his whole career. He's just hard to guard, and he's tough, and he rebounds. And Elijah Fuller's a transfer, and he can play. He's one of the better guards in the league, and it's going to be a real tough matchup for some of our guys. But I do think we've gotten a lot better at guarding the basketball. But that's what Elijah Fuller will make you do. He'll make you guard.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Well, I'll tell you, when you talk about Quigley, though, I think he's been there 7 years. I mean, he's just
he's
there
the Austin
every
Flint
single
of
year.
Evergreen.
And
yeah.
I said last year, wasn't he a senior the year before? You know,
Yep.
And he was only a sophomore at that time, and now he's finally a senior. And but he can play.
Well, it tells you when you feel like a guy's been there for 7 years. It just tells you he's had an impact on the league for a while. I've always felt the same way about Joel Johnson.
Oh.
At Corbin. I wrote senior on the scouting report last year just because I was hoping he would leave. You know, because he's just such a good player. But, you know, Quigley, he's done a nice job for him since he was a freshman. And he's a hard matchup because he's, 6'6", 6'7". He can shoot out on the perimeter a little bit. He can put it on the floor. He can pass. And it poses a tough matchup for whoever we have guarding him.
Well, this Evergreen team has 1 sophomore, and the rest are all juniors and seniors. This is I have a lot of experience on this Evergreen State team.
They do. A lot of experience. Maybe not necessarily in the Cascade Conference, but
a lot of basketball for sure.
They played a lot of basketball, and they're going to be tough. We get out of there with a 1-point win, I'd be the happiest guy around.
We are live at Abby's Pizza. It's the Oregon Tech Owls Coaches Show. We're joined by Justin Parnell. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Cascade Conference returning MVP Mitchell Fink will be joining us. We'll talk with Mitchell. We'll talk a little bit more Hustling Owl basketball, and we'll do that when we come back. We're live on 104.3, 960 Sports, and on Facebook at Klamath Falls Live as well. Back after this.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over.
When you see lights,
Vests.
Or reflectors.
Please, give us some room. Slow down and move over.
when you need us.
We've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back?
Please, slow down.
And move over.
You can have your car taken to the shop of your choice. So my friend had her car taken to Excel Auto Body because she heard about their reputation for excellent work. They even gave her a written warranty that's good for as long as she owns that car. So Excel Auto Body is a very smart choice.
Hi, I'm Rourke, owner of Excel Auto Body. No matter if the damage is minor or major, you'll want to choose us now. So if you are ever in an accident, you'll be ready. And remember, it's your choice what body shop you go to. Choose Excel Auto Body. It's your car, our reputation.
You're listening to the OIT Coaches Show from Abby's Pizza on Campus Square. Here's Bobby and Mike.
104.3, 960 Sports. Mike Garrard, Bobby Thompson. We welcome you back to Abby's Pizza. We're live here at Abby's for the OIT Owls Coaches Show. We're streaming on Facebook as well at Klamath Falls News, so we invite and welcome those of you watching and listening online tonight as well. We're joined by head coach Justin Parnell, and Justin, we'll let you give us a little introduction here on Mr. Mitchell Fink.
Mitchell Fink, well, he's one of my first recruits right off the bat, and came in, made an immediate impact his freshman year. One of the reasons we got back to the tournament, and last year obviously had a record-breaking season and just really carried us through a spot where we struggled to score the ball, and Mitch was really our offense for a while, and now we don't have to do that this year as much, which takes a lot of pressure off of him, but he's as fierce as a competitor as you're going to find. Offensively and defensively, he has so much passion for the game that sometimes can be perceived as some guys are just so passionate and it's so important to them, can sometimes be perceived as they're into it too much, or maybe getting on guys too much, or getting on the officials too much, but he's just so passionate and wants to win so bad. And
I love that, by the way.
What you see from Mitch on the floor in a game is what you see from him in open gym. It doesn't change, and it just says a lot about him. And he's really talented to go with that, obviously, but he has that desire from within that you can't teach, and is going to carry him not only through basketball but into his career, whatever he decides to do.
Well, Mitch, welcome.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
We are good. How's the team doing, and how you feeling?
It's going pretty good. We've had some really good practices these past couple of days. I'm doing pretty good as well. Feeling good. Feeling ready to get into the home opener for conference.
Gotta like that. And I know Mom and the family. What's nice is when we go to Christmas break and you come back, you get to be up there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is nice. I get to come back down here for 2 days and then go right back up there, see them again.
Well, Mitch, I know you're feeling a lot better now, and it shows on the floor, too, that you're feeling better. And, of course, it makes Parnell here, he feels really good about the fact you were really his first recruit.
Yeah.
And you made him really look good. But all that aside, you've got a great bunch of teammates. You've got a good ball club. This is a good league this year.
Yeah,
Cascade
absolutely.
Conference is really good. What do you think about the Yotes being moved number one?
Oh, man, they're a really good team. We saw that last weekend. They play a full 40 minutes. They play hard. They're really talented, really athletic, and they defend for 40 minutes. So they're a tough game for anybody that's going to go and play them, and they're deserving of that spot at number one.
It was still the thing that was interesting is that we played them, and the next night Southern played them. We had one less point than Southern. It's still a 3-point difference, and they had the same thing happen at the end of the game that we did. About the same thing. So you're just about this far. So Southern away from where they are, and the next thing is at the end of the year they got to come here.
Yep, absolutely. They got to come down to Klamath Falls, and everyone knows it's tough to play down here.
A lot of work between now and then, though.
Yeah,
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And talk about Mitch playing here in front of the fans.
Oh, man. It's the biggest push for us. When we come out there and hear them cheering and stuff, makes you want to play that much harder. It makes you want to play with that much more passion. It makes it that much easier to play with that much passion and that much harder. So it really does make the difference. And playing at home is something that I think all of us are really fortunate, and we all kind of know that, and it helps push us in the games.
I thought that first half against the Seattle Mountaineers, that may have been the best first half I've seen in your 3 years, Coach. As a first half with all those players, the way they played and everything.
It's definitely up there.
It's up there, right near the top of everything.
It's a lot less stressful because the game didn't count.
Yeah.
But it was good. Defensively, I think Mitch had like 4 first-half steals or something like that. And, we flew around. We were playing the zone. We were playing the man. We were sharing the ball. We had 16 assists in the first half. And, yeah, I agree. It was just a tremendous half. And we're capable of doing that against really good teams. But we haven't figured out how to do it for a whole game yet.
How about school? What's up in school?
Went really good. Got some good grades. All A's and B's.
He's a great student.
I know you're a good student. What's your major again?
Communications with a minor in coaching.
Okay.
Yep.
You want to be a coach in the end? Is that what you want to do?
That's the plan.
At the college level? High school? At the college level?
Yeah, college for
sure.
You
going to it won't happen very soon to be coming here and replace him. What do you think, Mikey? I don't think that Parnell is going to be moving. I think he's I think you're kind of set here. Do you think this is your level like Danny thought it was his level?
Well, I don't want to be anywhere else. This is a really good spot, and I'm
good answer.
I feel really
good answer. Show me the money, honey.
I just feel really fortunate to be here and have the job and get to coach kids like Mitch and the rest of the guys we have, and to get paid to coach basketball and be around young people all the time. It's pretty fun.
I remember when you came in here as a junior and everything, and I was impressed. And your brother told me why you hadn't really come here.
Yeah.
He told me because he was here.
Yeah,
you know?
It was.
Mitch, how's the team this year gelling?
It's going really good. We had a lot of freshmen, a lot of new guys coming in that were playing, and I think it took us a little bit to kind of find each other and on the court. But off of the court, we've kind of hit it off, and we're a really close team from top to bottom, every single person.
Well, Bobby and I thought that when we were on the bus going to LeGrand and Caldwell last weekend. We thought, you can tell sometimes on the bus if there's some friction. It seemed like a good, both the men's and women's, but the men's team in particular, a very solid group.
Yeah, I mean, we're all close. I don't think that there's any cliques on the team. No one really goes with each other the whole time. Everybody's just kind of with each other, and we all enjoy being around each other. It just makes it a lot more fun on the court and off the court.
You got some shout-outs? You want to say hello to anybody out there?
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. I know you guys are watching. Tanner Karp.
Tanner.
Thanks for supporting and being here.
The manager over there,
yep.
Tanner Karp.
He's the glue.
no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
Well, Mitch, we're glad you're getting healthier, number one. And this team, it's just so much better when you're at 100% because I tell you, I think we're a tough team to stop. And stay healthy, my friend.
Yes, sir. I will.
All right. This weekend, conference home openers, Evergreen and Northwest. What's the plan?
Man, just come out there, play as hard as we can, play the best defense we can, and hope that can get us a couple wins this weekend.
Yeah. Bring the broom.
Simple as that.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely, Mitch. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, thank you, guys.
All right, Mitch Fink, ladies and gentlemen, here at Abby's Pizza. We appreciate that, Mitch.
Yep.
Coach Parnell, some final thoughts here for this weekend's games.
Well, a big crowd would sure help. If we can get as many people there as possible.
And again, K through 12 weekend.
Yes,
Talk
K
about
through
that
12.
Real quick.
Any kid that's in kindergarten to senior in high school, they get in free. Even if you have 20 kids, you can bring them all in. They get in free. Get a bunch of the high schoolers out. We don't have students because they're gone for break. So get in our student section.
They get a whole month off for everybody but our players, right?
And make some noise.
And then you got a guy, what's this? Michael Nerot? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
You said he's watching us in Idaho?
Yeah, he is. Back in Idaho.
He is watching in Idaho.
He's one of the ultimate Oregon Tech guys and tremendous competitor, my best friend. And, he sent me a message, said they were watching. So, hi, Mike and Kelsey. And, yeah.
Awesome. Well, good luck this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, Justin Parnell, Mitchell Fink, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate that. Thanks for listening. Bobby, some final thoughts here.
Well, I tell you, there's excitement in the air. I'm saying right now, 4-0 this weekend is a must. It's a must. You got to have them, and that these people are going to come down here from the state of Washington, and they're going to fight us. So the games are going to be good. They're going to be good ball games.
They're always tough games. Of course, the men are ranked to 22nd or 24th now in the country, 1-1 in conference play. Big weekend. We need the fans out.
Yes,
Again,
we do.
K through 12 weekend at Danny Miles Court. Anybody in kindergarten, bring your kids up. They get in free. Bring them both nights. Women start at 5:30. Men start at 7:30 this weekend. Should be a lot of fun up at Danny's house for K through 12 weekend. It's Evergreen State Friday night, Northwest on Saturday night. Our next coaches show will come your way in January. We'll talk to you next time live from Abby's. For Bobby Thompson, I'm Mike Garrard saying good night from Abby's Pizza.